If you are at all familiar with anything Sonic Frontiers Beta related, then you definitely know a thing or two about the original version of Kronos Island. But for those who don't know, Kronos was originally comprised of Kronos, Rhea, and Aranos, all mashed together to create what the community dubbed as Beta Kronos Island. However, before this version of the island was created, there was an even bigger version of it, which had terrain that was removed in the final game. And that's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. We're going to be looking through the even earlier version of Kronos Island, and uncovering how it was different from the beta version of Kronos we all know today. First, let's look to see what we have in the game files. In the PS4 version of the game, deep in the files, we can find the wind map for Beta Kronos. Now, at first, this may just look like an outline of the beta version of Kronos Island, but comparing this to a map of Beta Kronos as we know it, we can see that there were two mini islands that were present initially. There's one in the top left corner of the map, and there's a smaller, more narrow island in the bottom left corner. But why were these removed in the final game? Well, I have some theories. Number 1, I have a good feeling that these islands had something to do with the progression system of the original Kronos Island. So, fun fact, in the beta version of Kronos Island, the Rhea Island portion had puzzles on this tiny island off of the mainland, but in the final game, it serves no purpose, as if you manage to get over there, then you're only met with a booster to get yourself back to the mainland. This extra island in the bottom left was probably in a very similar situation to the small island seen in the final game. It could have had puzzles that were simply not present in later versions of the island, so instead of keeping it there for empty space, they just decided to remove it. As for the island in the top left of the map, we can see that it's much larger than the one seen in the bottom left, which leads me to believe that it had much more purpose. My first thought is that it could have been the original boss arena for Giganto, as we can see that Giganto's arena in later versions is very close to the landmass, but that's probably a stretch. My second thought is that it could be the original location of the unused Ancients world ship, but considering what we've seen from the leaked beta footage, I don't think that's very likely. But there's something else about this original Kronos Island that was revealed after Frontiers was released. In what is known as the CG World magazine, we can see an early model for Kronos Island. In this model, we can clearly see the landmasses that I just mentioned, and we can see their shape as well. The one in the bottom left doesn't seem to be anything special, but the one in the top right has a large divot in the center. What caused this divot? Who knows? Again, this could lead back to my theory regarding the world ship, but I really don't know. There's one more thing about this model that I wanted to point out. So in the final game, the full Kronos Island has two boss arenas. One of them is located in Rhea, of course, and this is where we fight Giganto in the final game. But there's also one in the Aranos area that houses the Supreme fight. But since in the beta version of the game we fought Giganto in Supreme's arena, then what was Giganto's arena in the final game used for? And the answer is quite simple. It wasn't. Looking at the model from the CG World magazine, we can clearly see that where Giganto's arena is supposed to be, it's just completely filled in, meaning that it was added very late in development so Giganto can have a boss arena. But what was originally planned for this large area? Well, let's talk about it. My first theory is that this area was originally populated with a dense forest. The CG trailers for Frontiers included segments where Sonic was running through these large forests. The thing is, there is not a single forest that is this big in the final game. The closest we have is Supreme's boss arena, but of course, there's a giant opening in the center. So what if, in the beta of Frontiers, Giganto's arena was just a forest, and they just decided to remove a lot of the trees so Giganto could fit? And this could be a huge stretch, so don't quote me on this, but if we look at the announcement trailer of Frontiers, which is some of the only official footage of Beta Kronos we have, there are some trees where Giganto's boss arena is in the final game. Again, this is a huge stretch, because in the final game, there are many trees in Giganto's arena. So maybe this is just bullshit, but it's fun to think about, right? In the story trailer of Frontiers, we see Amy next to a cyberspace portal in a large forest. However, none of that is present in the final game, and none of that is present in the original object data for Beta Kronos. So where was this? I mean, it could have been in Giganto's arena, or one of the unused land masses, but I really don't know. At the end of the day, we really know nothing for certain. It's entirely possible that these land masses were never fully implemented in the first place, and it's possible that Giganto's arena was just filled in with normal terrain. But regardless, this stuff is just fun to talk about, man. The reason I've made countless videos on the beta of Sonic Frontiers is just because it's so interesting to me. The fact that this game was drastically different from its final release is just very cool to me. I just hope that one day we'll be able to play the beta of this game and see that damn world ship. But yeah, that's going to end this video, everyone. Let me know what you all think about this in the comments down below. And hey, if you have any facts about this that I didn't discuss, then please let me know so I can make another full-ass video talking about Beta Kronos. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.